This video is going to be looking at this knowledge article, the is not filter is excluding records with empty values from the query output. So let's go look at the phenomenon here in the platform. I'm in the incident table, and here I have 42 incidents, and I want to filter this table for incidents where the subcategory is not email. If I were to do that from the filter up here, so active is true, and subcategory is not email. So before I run this, we can see there are lots of incidents that do not have a subcategory at all, right? Basically, every incident that has a category of inquiry/help doesn't have a subcategory. So my intention is to pick up all of these, right? I want everything except for subcategory is email. Okay, so if I run this, this is not my expected result. I'm showing nothing here. And the reason for that is because of the phenomenon outlined in this knowledge article that they basically say that this is expected behavior because this is the way databases work. MySQL, SQL Server, and Oracle, they all work this way because this is standard ANSI SQL, basically. That's the way it works. So they, this is a Stack Overflow reference. Right, so it says the query will need to have two conditions in OR, right? So the field is not that value or the field is empty. So if we go back here and modify this, so we say subcategory is not email or subcategory is none, right? Is empty. Then we run it. Now we get our expected result, which is all of the 40 records that do not have a subcategory of email. Now the good news is, and we'll just get rid of these, the good news is if you use the right-click functionality, so I go to category, subcategory email, right-click, and I do filter out, ServiceNow does have this nice safety feature that adds this OR condition for us. That's the good news. The bad news is if you are not in a list like this and you're doing it in Flow Designer, you're not going to be so lucky. It doesn't have that same safety feature. So here I have a scheduled flow that would run every day, and it's going to go look up incident records, right? I have a lookup records action, and I say, I'm giving it the same conditions. I say, I want to find, well, here, let's just, we don't even need this, right? We say subcategory is not email, right? And so now I test this. And I run it, and the count is 0 records. It finds 0 records, which it is expected behavior. But if I don't know that, and I'm going to run this, and let's say, and because this has happened to me, is, well, it picked up records, but because the count wasn't 0, it wasn't such a simple condition. There were other conditions mixed in here, and I thought that it came close to this, but I just eyeballed it and said, oh yeah, that's pretty close, and I let it run. So in other words, you wouldn't find that, you might not find that error if you know that. So it's important to be aware of this behavior because that can really burn you in terms of creating flows with the lookup records action. Another piece of good news, though, we'll get back to some good news, is if we are doing a triggered flow, it does work this way. So here I have a flow that is triggered, and the incident is it's triggering on the incident table. Subcategory is not email, right? Let's see, and I have that activated. So let's go over to an incident that does not have, how about this one, request for new service. Oh, and so let's go back and look at this. So when this triggers, all it's going to do is add a work note with a link to the context. So we go back in here and we run this. No, not a work note. So I just need to make some change to trigger it. and the subcategory is empty. And there we can see that, oh, okay, this is another one I have going, but this is the flow that I have. So is not record trigger, that actually ran. That flow actually ran. If we go back here to executions, we can see that this is me, 314 at 1020 is not record trigger complete. So even though I only have subcategory is not email, it does work here in the triggers, which is good news because these are probably a lot more common in when using Flow Designer than a setup like this where you're doing a lookup records. So that's good news. So just something to be aware of, this knowledge base article. Usually you become aware of it sometimes when it's already in production and a user makes you aware of it, but hopefully we can catch this stuff before it goes out there. Thanks for watching.